Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, April 6th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Glad to have you all with us tonight. A car crash in Beltsville this morning leaves 2 men dead and at least 3 people critically injured. Just before 4:30 a.m., a Chevy Impala collided with a trash truck on Edmonston Road. Now, authorities say the truck was traveling southbound and the Impala was driving north when it entered the truck's lane, striking it head on.
The driver of the Impala was pronounced dead on scene. Passengers 2 and 3 were transported in critical condition, and passengers 4 and 5 sustained non-life-threatening injuries, and they were released there on scene. The driver of the trash truck was transported to a hospital in critical condition.
Now, the victims have been identified as 19-year-old Marvin Vanquier of Laurel and 19-year-old Stephen Nestor of Temple Hills.
And a Springdale man dies from his burn injuries after an accidental home fire last night. Now, the incident happened at around 9:15 at a 2-story home on the 3400 block of Edward Street. The 83-year-old found in critical condition and transported to a burn unit. Now, officials say the victim was sitting on a piece of furniture when the blaze occurred and that his wife was able to extinguish the fire before responders arrived.
A former Riverdale Park town councilman has been sentenced to 5 years in jail for assaulting a homeless man. Raymond Rivas worked as an apartment manager and had numerous run-ins with the victim. On June 17, 2014, he saw the victim leaning over a fence. Now, prosecutors say he began yelling and then used a bat to strike the man. Rivas then fired a shot with his gun at the ground.
Individual, besides just scaring him, striking him with this bat. So, having 2 positions that are trusted within the community, one being an apartment complex manager and the second certainly being a Riverdale councilman, we believe that it's absolutely unacceptable for him to exhibit this type of behavior. We certainly think that and hope during this 5-year term that he'll be in prison, that he certainly receives some anger management help.
Now, Rivas resigned from his position in November of last year. Well, the family of an unarmed Suitland man killed by a Prince George's sheriff deputy last October files a $10 million wrongful death lawsuit. 38-year-old Michael Ricardo Minor was shot by Deputy Kendall Wade as he returned home from walking his dog following an argument with his girlfriend. Now, he died later that morning after being struck in the shoulder and chest. Minor's mother says it's been more than 5 months and she still has no answers.
Without a son, and I feel that I'm entitled to know what happened to my son on Thursday, October the 23rd of 2014. I'm looking for answers, and I want my son's murder to be publicized. It's been too quiet, very quiet, and I don't understand why. And I'm tired of hearing words spoken because it was a black officer who shot a black man. This is why it's not publicized.
Now, the state's attorney's office says it was waiting to schedule a meeting with the Minor family once the grand jury concluded its findings. Now, that happened last week when the grand jury declined to indict. Now, spokesperson John Erzin says that the state's attorney's office will reach out today to talk with the parties involved in the lawsuit.
And frustration continues to grow over County Executive Rashawn Baker's proposed 15% tax hike in Prince George's. Now, Baker had said that the increase would go toward public education, but the People for Change Coalition held a meeting in Mitchellville over the weekend. Many there in attendance, including Seat Pleasant Mayor Eugene Grant, has voiced opposition to the plan.
13% of the population in Seat Pleasant are 65 years of age and older, with an annual income of about $17,000 a year. To have this 15.4% tax increase would create a tremendous burden on many of our residents, particularly our senior citizens who already own their home, but they don't have extra resources or revenues to be able to support a tax hike. That could mean between $265 to $350 per household in Seat Pleasant, Maryland, which means they would have to make a choice as to whether or not they get their out-of-pocket expenses in terms of medications, whether they get the grocery bills, whether they get other needed items for their homes.
Now, the next chance for residents to voice their concerns is on Tuesday, April 21st at 7 p.m. The Education Town Hall will take place at Central High School. The County Council will also hold 2 public hearings at the County Administration Building in Upper Marlboro. One will be held on Tuesday, April 28th, the other May 4th. That's a Monday. Both start at 7 p.m.
And you're watching CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava.
And I'm Byron Scott.